pushing hope from the sea.
Hey, what's up out there, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving. Merry
Christmas
coming up. As you see, we got, you might recognize this guy from the Power Cuff Christmas wrap from last year. We call that Christmas DDP in Florida.
He looks like DDP.
Yeah, so hope you guys been checking out the Power Cuff Christmas video. It's back in circulation that we did last year. Yeah, it was a fun song.
It was fun.
Kids have grown since that thing, man.
Gosh,
Jeez.
Jahnna killed it with the Santa.
Jahnna, my boy Jahnna was Santa. We did a little Power Cuff, and I think my arms have gotten a little bigger since last year. And
For
Power
sure.
Cuffs work. Link below. We just want to hop on here today and tell everybody, hope you had a good Thanksgiving,
Love
which is
Thanksgiving.
our favorite time of year.
My absolute
I think
favorite.
I like, it's Jesus' birthday, so I love Christmas. But Thanksgiving is the time where you are thankful for what you got
good food
versus getting something.
Yeah, you get your family and your friends together, and you just
It was good. It was
you're
good.
just thankful.
Yeah, thankful for that. So going into Christmas and New Year, what does Christmas mean to you, babe?
Wow, Christmas it's family time.
Right.
It's time where
When your Savior was born, Jahnna.
Yeah,
No,
that
I'm just
too.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Jeez,
I'm just
Jeffrey,
kidding. Just
simmer
kidding.
down.
I haven't even
Simmer
drank one of these
down.
today yet.
Do you see that? You didn't even wait for an answer.
It was a joke, guys. It was a joke.
Yeah, if I had a water gun, I'd shoot you in the
I
face.
love you.
But I don't. So back to
I'm just playing. But anyway, family. Go ahead,
yeah,
beautiful.
it means family, and I always love Christmas, like at church, because you had all these great different programs they would have, and the activities, and just reminds you that we had a Savior and He was born, and I love it.
Love it.
I love
What about
it.
the year at our house on downtown Fort Myers?
Oh,
Man, it's
Lord
been a long
Jesus.
time ago now.
I was working
When
in
we
the
looked
tea
like the
room.
Griswolds. Remember that?
I remember that because we had gotten back together and we were like full force working on our marriage, and we were just like, it's new us, And I don't think you'd ever done lights before, right? Am I correct or not?
Yeah, because to me, in which it's changed now, especially, the last 5 years, 6 years, since we've really got our life straight and really jumped in and worked on our marriage and got our relationship right with Jesus. But holidays was never a big thing for me. Matter of fact,
Oh yeah.
Thanksgiving, the night before Thanksgiving in the drinking world is bigger than New Year's
Party
Eve to
time.
go out.
Yeah.
The night, especially where I'm from, Peoria. And so every year, the night before Thanksgiving, I would start a bender till after New Year's Eve.
Oh, I remember.
And but I'm talking about from us, but I'm talking about before you ever knew me.
Yeah.
I'm talking about if you asked my sister and my mom. So there was many Thanksgivings,
You wouldn't
Christmases,
show up.
New Year's. Nobody even knew where I was, and they would be like, and Bob Vaughn, who's still my buddy today. I love
Shout
Bobby
out
and Penelope.
Bobby.
Bob and Penelope, proud of you, man. He's a great dad, and he's still one of my dear friends to this day. But me and Bob would go on. We would start drinking the night before Thanksgiving, and we would roll. And when I say bender, we would be
Keep it
drunk
going.
for a month. You know what I mean? Just on up until New Year's.
Okay, but I got to stop you. Why do you think that was? Do you think it was because your childhood?
Yeah, I think. Well, I
Yeah.
know. Holidays were never good around my house. My dad would be on a bender, and he's gone. And remember one Christmas, this is horrible. And my poor sister, we laugh about this story, but it's true. I remember we didn't have well, my mom had bought presents, what she could, and put it on the tree, but we didn't know where my dad was. Like, the guy had been gone, And he'd been out on a bender, and he comes home with all these presents on Christmas morning. And I just never forget my sister opening up.
Oh,
It's not funny, but because some family woke up and didn't have Christmas presents because my dad robbed their house. And my sister was holding up this big old sweater. She goes, and Heather, she's
tiny.
She's tiny as can be, really tiny back then in 1980 or whenever this was. She goes, I can't wear this. He's like, and then he threw me a present, and he was half crocked, and he's like, open that up, bud. See what I got you. And I'm like, oh, wow. And it's some.
Wasn't it a nightgown?
No, not that one. I don't know what it was. And he's like, look at that. I go, yeah, awesome.
Great.
And so in holidays, there was never no Thanksgiving, sit down and eat. Like, my dad was drunk, or my parents were fighting, or we were out of town and my dad was gone somewhere and we didn't know where he was. So holidays were never, and then, they wasn't fun for me. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that every Christmas I had was bad, but also I have a sister I love her now. She's one of my best friends. But back in the day, she used to torture me. So she would say, back then, when my mom went shopping, I got to go with her for Heather.
Right.
Heather got to go with her for me. That was just a thing.
Right.
And so I would want all these things. Well, Heather would, con me. And she would say, so if you tell me one thing I got, I'll tell you one thing you got. And me being whatever I was, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, at 7, 8, whatever, I'd tell her really what she got. And she'd go, and she knew, like, say I wanted this. There was like this racetrack I wanted one year. She goes, oh, you got the Hot Wheels racetrack.
So
and I'm
wrong.
like, yeah. And then this would go on. She's like, tell me another thing and I'll tell you, you know what I mean? And so I would tell her the truth and she would say, oh, you got all these new toys. Well, Christmas was the most disappointing morning. And Heather would be sitting back like this, like an evil doctor. And I'd rip one thing open. I'm like, oh, that's not it.
That's not it.
Rip one thing. And I would just be just disappointed. So thanks, Heather, for screwing my life up. I'm just kidding. I love you. But that's a funny part that we joke about now. But so holidays were never a big deal. Like where your mom.
Or yeah, I'd have to give a shout out to my mom.
She does the little,
Yes.
not since Gary passed away, God rest his soul. But
Yeah, but all my childhood, it was always Christmas was a big deal. It was always the Christmas tree and the lights and the
Church
baking and church and all the programs.
And then she does the little thing that she done with us since our marriage.
And the story.
And the story with the thing that she used to do, which was cool.
And I remember she would wrap the presents, and my brother and I would both be in our room sleeping or pretending to be asleep, because really we were just super anxious. Just that feeling of when you're a kid, just the innocence of, being excited. And as soon as the presents were out, and as soon as we heard my parents' door shut, we would go out there and sleep under the Christmas tree. Every year it was a ritual, and we'd go through our stockings, and it was just the innocence. And just
well, I didn't have a stocking, Jahnna.
My bad.
No, I'm just kidding. My mom tried hard. I mean, there was some good Christmases too.
You have stockings now.
Yeah, well now, yeah. But again, I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, I mean, my mom worked hard.
Yes, she did.
There was some Christmases that she really tried and did her thing, And then fast forward.
And in defense for Cindy, it's hard to be into it when everything
you're
was
by
such
yourself.
A struggle.
Then fast forward to Christmas is when me and my mom were playing on Christmas morning, like wrestling, and I grabbed her and she fell and hit her back on the fireplace, and then she was paralyzed in bed for like almost a year. So I was always like, gosh, almost killed my mom playing around. I was a kid, like 11, 12 or whatever. So holidays was just never big to me, you know what I mean? And so fast forward our early years, whenever holidays come, you would go the opposite. You'd be like, oh, let's decorate. And I'm like, why the blank are we decorating? This is ridiculous. And I would get a bunch of cocaine and and that was how I would start. And you're like, we're not doing this. I'm like, oh yeah, we are. And so I would go into a depression.
Yes.
And I would use all through the holidays. I mean, one holiday we ended up at a Chinese restaurant. And I don't remember it, Gavin. All of us remember that year?
Ashley was pregnant.
Ashley was pregnant. Oh, Lord, that was something, boy. But that was early on in our marriage. But
yeah, it used to be a struggle for you.
Yeah.
And it would always crush me because
you didn't understand it.
Yeah. Well, I did understand it. I was kind of like, we got to reverse this, or flip it or something, because for me, it was time to have all the family over and just.
Well, I remember one time, though, you saying, I don't understand it. That's why I said that. Yeah. I'm like, well, yeah, you don't understand it because your family, your parents are married, which is awesome. They have Christmas. You can't understand it if you didn't do it. And I'm not saying, oh, poor is me, but I'm just saying, and then, now you understand it, obviously, because you know me. So I'm just saying at the beginning, you were like, I don't understand why this is supposed to be joyful.
What I didn't understand was, okay, now we have the kids and we're all together and, things are different now. So that's what I didn't understand, why you couldn't like flip from before, to now. Because now here we are, we have Nevaeh and Jackson and Adriana, and I'm like, all right, it's holidays.
Yeah, but I still hadn't dealt with stuff. That's what you didn't understand.
Yes, that was exactly.
Because it's kind of like saying, and I said this not too long ago, it's like, you got to forget the past. Some things you can't forget. No. I don't care how hard you try, and you can serve Jesus and you can pray all day. Don't get me wrong, you can get over the hurts and grow, but some things you can't forget.
Right.
And it was like when we went to the Madison thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got to leave the past behind. God forgave you. Yeah, he forgave me, but there's still wounds from that.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, you can grow and you can be forgiven and you can forgive, but
There's still
that's still
scars.
there, So and I'm not, I know like a lot of people, oh, Jesus will forgive you. No, no. And I think that just sets that's why you see a lot of people leave faith-based programs sometimes.
Yeah.
And I've seen it firsthand. I'm not just making this up or saying this. I've seen this, our success rate is this. And I'm like, no, it's not, because I see a lot of relapses. And why? Because just because you start serving Jesus, if you don't deal with that stuff, it's still there, right? And the past is still there. So you got to learn how to deal with the past and deal with the repercussions of the past, right? That's why at one time, Madison getting married and me not being invited, I would have went into a depression. Then I would have probably relapsed, and then I would have went on a thing, and because I wouldn't have been able to process it, right? And what I did this time was I had the tools over time, learned it, and I processed it and dealt with the pain and dealt with the hurt and dealt with the guilt and dealt with it.
Proud of you for that.
And so it's the same thing with holidays. Now I'm all about them. You know what I'm saying? Now where we're at, I'm like, hey, this is our family. We're building our own traditions. You know what I mean? So, and then that I can come alongside you because you love it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, I even tell the girl, you don't got to cook. I'll just order it. And she's like, no, I have to cook.
Well, look, even Nevaeh now, she's like already talking about Thanksgiving. She's all excited. So to our kids now, they all look forward to
That's the tradition.
Because it's the tradition.
Yeah. And before I was like, high off somewhere, and
going to Golden Corral.
And I thought buying them a bunch of stuff was the way to. Here, I'll buy this. My dad never bought me nothing like that, so here, be thankful, and then I would be on a bender, right? So Christmas to me, it means, without Christmas and Jesus being born, we would have nothing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? He was born and then gave his life so we could be reborn,
Right.
And I know a lot of people say, oh, Christmas trees are of the devil. Well, I can say coffee's of the devil. I can say cars of the devil. I can say makeup's of the devil. There's convictions. I don't put Santa above Jesus in my life.
No.
But Santa looks cool. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this guy right here, little Dave, little Jahnna. Well, my face a little thin right here, this cartoon guy. But he took me thin. And this is Jahnna. Does this mean we don't love Jesus because we have this? No, it's just like celebrating anything, Well,
you know what? I remember when I was little, my mom, she used to read me a story about the saint Nicholas and why that came about. And it was like back in the olden days, and this man would go around and give people presents. And that's where, Santa, Saint Nicholas came from. So then I didn't look at him like, oh, I didn't put him above Jesus. It was just... It was a different thing.
So, to each their own, make your decisions. If you feel that it's blasphemy, that's between you and God.
That's right.
I don't think having a Christmas tree means that I don't love Jesus. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
No.
And I'm full on, all about it. House ready to go.
Yep,
Griswold up. Ready to go. Not as crazy as it was last year because we filmed the music video. So we really went crazy last year. But this year's still good, still good to go. Like I said, the DDPY Christmas wraps out. You know what I mean? Again, we re-released it, and just doing our thing. So really, that's Christmas to us. We couldn't explain something if there wasn't a little dysfunction in there. But man, it's amazing what Jesus can do when you let him get in there and work. You got to pray like it's up to God and work like it's up to you. And that's what we're doing in life. And now we're building, like you said, our own traditions in Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Bob back there. Bob is
like
wearing
Dallas.
a Merry Fitmas and a Happy New Year DDPY shirt. He's rocking some Neven eyewear. I'm not drinking no clean costs. Not yet, but I might a little later. Might be some in your stocking. And that's what we do. Not a Flyfit tee on, but I got a sweatshirt with my face on it. Kind of my face. Relentless Hope. We love y'all. Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year. Remember, you can't smell my armpit. If you don't, man, I've been on a run of saying, like one day, like one podcast, I said balls, nautical balls. Now I said smell. What happens is my brain gets faster than my.
So that clean calls, my guy.
Clean calls will give you some healthy energy. But you can't spell Christmas without Christ. Don't leave Jesus out of your Christmas,
man.
and do something for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for all those people who don't look forward to Christmas or Thanksgiving, deal with those hurts.
Yeah.
Deal with those hurts and that pain and that trauma so that you can enjoy it.
Jesus is good. He's the reason for the season.
That's right.
Merry Christmas. We're excited for the new year. Some great things going to be happening and going on. So stay tuned. Thank you for everybody who's been liking, subscribing, sharing. Things are going great. We're just blessed and thankful, Thankful for my beautiful wife over there. She's losing in this deal. She's my little stocking stuffer.
Gained a little weight.
I got a little.
I don't know if it's muscle.
It's muscle. It's got a little stocking stuffer. I got a little stocking stuffer. My wife is my stocking stuffer.
He's got problems.
Yes. No, we love you guys.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas to Miss Diana and Eduardo and Tim Jarrett, the 239 Uncensored. Be on the lookout. Have a good one. And if you want to cash at me some presents, I'll send it to you. I still can't get over people always say that. Like,
cash at me some drinks
for my birthday. That's
like,
I couldn't even ask. I can't even ask nobody to help support me. So buy everything to help support us. Yeah. No, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We love y'all. Feliz Navidad for all my bilingual people.
It's Navidad.
Navidad too. Peace.